Hello out there, and welcome to the No Shit Cast. I'm your host, Matt Frazier. Got another bushel of good things to talk about tonight. Another cornucopia of topical items. Sitting in the co-pilot seat with me on this journey, as usual, none other than the Grey Wizard of Historical Knowledge himself, Mr. Eric D. Smith. How are you tonight, Mr. Smith?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I am fantastic. Yeah, man. Been cranking. We worked I think it was 19 days straight here recently, and it was kind of nice to have at least one day off before we go back at it here coming into the holiday season. And so it's good to be home, out working with my buddy, Mr. Eric Eckwall, so shout out to him. And, yeah, good times, man. Can't complain. So sitting in the engineering booth back there, our own in-house Bond villain, Mr. Devlin. How are you tonight, Mr. Devlin?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah? You living the dream back there, buddy? You running the dials of change here on the show, bearing the responsibility of, saturating our fans with knowledge. You prepared for all of that? He's like, where was that in the job description?
Right? I don't remember signing up for that.
I don't remember any of that being in the job description. Where am I at here? Let me see. I need to move some stuff around. Okay. So, did you guys have anything specific you wanted to put on tonight as like a show question or anything? Anybody? I have something, but I think it's kind of repetitive, so I wanted to kind of see if maybe there was something a little bit better from you guys.
Well, I do want to say hi to Reed and Cassie and Susan and Chase. And Christian, if you're out there still listening, drop us a line. Some other people I've run into.
Mike Barnett.
yeah, drop us a line. Let us know. Aside from saying that, what do you got?
Well, I know I've been talking with Greg and Kenny over at Thought Dump Podcast. Mm-hmm. So check that out if you guys get the chance. It's a good show. Well done, and the guys are fucking hilarious. But they're supposed to be coming in, so that's going to be kind of cool when we can kind of get that arranged. My work and travel schedule, sort of what keeps dicking that up. But so they're going to be coming in here soon.
That's cool.
Joining us on the show here in the studio. So that'll be a lot of fun. That's coming up.
Yeah.
But, Devlin, did you come up with a show question, or you got anything that's?
Yes, I did.
What you
Yay!
got?
What is one article of clothing that you could wear forever?
Like what?
Like not the obvious like.
Not like forever, days on end, but.
No. I mean, like you put it on and you can never take it off.
No. Like an outfit, or like an article from an outfit that you would wear
forever, like a hat or something. I don't know.
I would say tennis shoes.
That's your favorite article of clothing, and you can wear tennis shoes forever?
Is
that what it's asking?
No, it's asking what, just like a jacket, like a shirt, like a type of, like a gi, martial arts gi.
Ooh, okay, I'll select gi. I like gi. Because I used to wear a gi when I worked at Universal Matrix. And it absolutely was one of the most comfortable things that I could possibly wear. And it was black. It was completely black.
Are you for real? Like,
yeah.
Was it part of your work uniform to have to wear?
No, there was no dress code.
So you just
I showed up
wore a gi?
Yeah, and a T-shirt. Because, gi doesn't have a T-shirt. I'd wear a T-shirt and a gi, which it was like the pants and the top.
Right.
That you could tie together on both sides and all that. And
with a belt?
No belt.
Okay.
Nope, no belt. Oftentimes, I just let the gi hang open, man, with my T-shirt on, and my pants and my sandals. I had
just
sandals.
How did the ladies keep their hands off of you, man? I mean, just exuding, just.
It was it was true. It was bad. It was some bad incidences there. There's some bad incidences there. I even got a wife there.
Some good touch then. You got a wife there, huh?
Yeah, and there was a couple of ladies that were a little weird about that kind of thing. So
I was being facetious.
yeah, but it was not. I
really
don't know.
being facetious.
Yeah, no. I could tell you some stories, but they wouldn't be appropriate.
Oh God, you never cease to amaze me, man.
I mean, I was young, man. It was like 92, 93.
Okay.
Was about the year that was going on.
Just swinging dick and doing.
In a gi.
In a gi, slinging that dick in a gi.
As a professional psychic.
Jesus Christ.
That's what was my psychic job.
Article of clothing, huh? I don't fucking know. Compared to that, I got nothing. I don't have anything even remotely as cool as that.
6 years.
Nothing. I got nothing. Devlin, you got anything that stands up to the dick slinging gi guy over here? Because I got nothing.
My Fonzie jacket I got.
Ooh, leather jacket, huh?
Yeah, it's not so gracefully draped over there on those boxes.
It just exudes cool, huh?
Yeah.
No matter what decade you're in, leather jacket's kind of a thing.
That's true. Yeah, it's always going to be in fashion, isn't it?
I don't have a favorite. I mean, I wear the almost identical clothing daily.
Jeans and T-shirts.
Which is just jeans and T-shirts.
And that would be it, right?
And now I'm getting into these long sleeve,
flannel type
like
stuff.
flannel.
Or not flannel,
yeah,
but
this is like
thermal.
Thermal underwear kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm sort of starting to dig these. And they're long, so you don't have to tuck them in. They're real comfortable. And then sneakers. I mean, it's the same outfit I've worn since I was 20 years old or whatever, 19 years old. So
I doubt I'd look as good in the gi as I used to. I don't think that the company I work for would go for it now.
That's a whole nother dimension to McDojo life. Shout out to McDojo life. That's a whole new dimension to McDojo life.
Yeah, right.
Okay, they expose the fake martial arts and stuff a lot. That's sort of their shtick, and some of the videos they come up with these people doing their, fake martial arts. That's about all I want to say about that. But anyway, I don't know if they've had a dick slinging gi guy on there yet, man. So maybe this is a whole new dimension for them. You could open them up to a new genre of audience.
Maybe I could.
Don't know why we're talking about this.
Well, that was a good question.
I so appreciate you, Mr. Smith. Thank you so much for enriching our lives. I do appreciate you, man. Okay, so good question, Devlin. Apparently, that worked out really well. To the articles then, Batman.
To the articles.
Here we go. Okay. So, first in line here, this came from Mike Barnett, who shared it with us. I said, I tell you guys, if you share articles with us and they're kind of cool, we'll put them on the show. So, Mike actually shared this to the No Shit Cast Facebook group, and I liked it, so I thought I'd put it on the show. So, big shout out to Mike. Thanks.
Hey, Mike.
And again, congratulations again. Mike's the guy we had on the show that's now in a movie, and that's coming out next year. So we'll keep you posted on that. So anyway, thanks, Mike. So scientists have developed a gel that can actually regrow tooth enamel. Say goodbye to temporary fillings.
Cool.
I want me some of this shit, man. It's long been a basic matter of life that humans have only 2 sets of teeth in a lifetime, our baby teeth and our permanent adult teeth. Now, this turned me on because we had just talked about this on the last show, and you've actually brought this up a couple times, that part of the whole CRISPR gene editing thing includes the ability to regrow organs and to also regrow your own teeth.
Yeah.
So, I thought, wow, we have to talk about that.
Yeah,
but anyway,
absolutely.
You can't. So, this is not a surprise to you.
No, I mean, it should be going on more and more now. They've been doing this for a while in other animals and stuff, and they know which one to do for us. They just haven't done it yet, but now if they've developed this, then they have.
It's pretty wild, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
this is this is why I like doing this show, but because there's all this really interesting shit going on in the world that nobody really talks about.
Yeah, right.
Unless you're a nerd like us. Well, at least me. I shouldn't say that. You're dick slinging gi guy.
That's me.
That's not a nerd. And while our teeth are the hardest bones in our body, billions of people throughout the world face the perpetual loss of tooth enamel, the mineralized substance protecting the surface of our teeth, thanks to tooth decay and various acids found in our food and drinks. Yeah, I think your quality of life overall, your socioeconomic class overall determines, like, how well, your teeth are taken care of. Unlike tissues such as bone, muscle, and skin, once enamel is generated, the cells that produce it immediately die. Yeah, we kind of know that's why you don't grow your teeth. Method published in the Journal of Science Advances this week replicates the biomineralization process whereby cells known as melloblasts, say that a couple times, secrete proteins that eventually become enamel. The new gel essentially makes enamel repair itself.
Isn't that nice?
So they just
That's good.
I mean, they just squirt this shit on your teeth, and wham, bam, you just like regrow that bad part of your tooth.
Yeah. That's real specific, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's not like regrowing a tooth. Like if you have had a tooth removed or whatever. But that is, yeah, man, that's cool shit.
Yeah.
That would have been great for me.
Too late, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
I had a broken tooth they pulled.
Yeah, they pulled it out completely.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could actually, if this was a thing.
But do you think that the CRISPR stuff would let you regrow teeth in a case like Devlin's or a case where somebody's had all their teeth removed?
I think so, but what I think it would do is it would cause all your teeth to regrow. Like you might have to remove all your other ones.
In the process.
Yeah.
They'd pop out like baby teeth and you'd regrow.
Possibly. I don't know.
God, could you imagine being an adult and teething? Well, I guess you do it as a child when you grow your second set. So, yeah, maybe. Actually, I don't know that it would necessarily be that terrible.
It would go through those two cycles again. If the gene was turned back on, it would do what it did.
Yeah, all these people walking around with all these wicked, crooked grins and shit from teeth that have popped out until they all come in.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
I mean, how long? That's a couple-year-long process for adolescents, right? To go through and lose all their baby teeth.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So you, as an adult, you would go through that.
Possibly if they was because I don't think they could grow individual teeth. I don't think, but I think they could turn the gene on to ask your body to regrow teeth.
Regrow teeth.
Yeah, in the mode that it does.
Now, for somebody that's had all of their teeth removed and have all or mostly all of their teeth removed, that might be a thing.
Yeah.
But they would literally regrow their teeth, which would then come down and break through their gum lines.
Yeah.
Like happens to an infant when they cut teeth, and they'd be doing it as an adult.
Yeah. Teething as an adult thanks to genetics.
Oh, yikes. I don't know, man. This is some things I don't know if I'd want to go through again. You don't remember that shit because you were so little when it happened the first time.
Right.
So
right.
Could you imagine going through that as an adult? Oh, my God. I guess I don't know. It's probably
if I didn't have teeth, I would do it.
Right.
If I didn't have any teeth, I would do it.
Yeah, me too.
So, I mean, I would do it.
I guess by way of comparison, it's probably worth the trade-off.
I would think, yeah.
I bet most people would take much better care of the third set than they did
the second.
Yeah,
especially since they would wear out in their lifetime.
Again.
Yeah.
Could. So here we go with CRISPR.
Woo, CRISPR.
We haven't done a show that hasn't had CRISPR in it in like
two or three.
Bunch of shows, yeah. So and people seem to be really turned on by this stuff.
Yeah, and it's new and it's something that people should know about.
Really, it's significant.
Yeah,
very. It says you've heard of CRISPR. Now meet its newer, savvier cousin.
I like
CRISPR
savvier.
Prime. Savvier seems to mean better. To me, I think that's what that means. Savvier means better.
Cooler.
Definitely cooler. CRISPR, the revolutionary ability to snip out and alter genes with scissor-like precision, has exploded in popularity over the last few years and is generally seen as the standalone wizard of modern gene editing. However, it's not a perfect system, sometimes cutting at the wrong place, not working as intended, and leaving scientists scratching their heads. Well, now there's a new, more exacting upgrade to CRISPR called CRISPR Prime.
I love it, CRISPR Prime.
The name?
Yeah.
With the ability to, in theory, snip out more than 90% of all genetic diseases.
That sounds nice. That sounds real nice.
Just what is this new method and how does it work? We turn to IEEE Fellow, biomedical researcher, and Dean of Graduate Education at Tufts University School of Engineering, Karen Panetta, for an explanation. I think it's about to get really technical.
Let's see.
So how does CRISPR editing work? Well, CRISPR is a powerful genome editor.
Yes.
It utilizes an enzyme called Cas9.
Yes.
That uses an RNA molecule as a guide to navigate to its target DNA.
So remember when I was telling you in the last episode that the RNA is what builds the double helix of the DNA? That's ribonucleic acid.
Okay.
And the deoxide ribonucleic acid is the double helix, right? And so RNA is what normally unravels that, puts it together, and changes things in and out. So it's using the RNA as a guide to the target. So the RNA is what's actually taking this protein down into the right spot, right?
Okay.
Your own personal RNA that should know your genome like the back of its hand, so to speak, right?
Right.
Takes it to its destination, and then it does its thing. So
Okay.
Somehow that's probably better than whatever they were using previously.
Okay, so it then edits or modifies the DNA, which can deactivate genes or insert a desired sequence to achieve a behavior. Currently, we are most familiar with the application of genetically modified crops that are resistant to diseases.
So it can change your DNA by turning things on and off,
Okay.
like things that have shut off, like your ability to regrow teeth, right? It can turn that back on. It could also add genes, which is the same thing that the RNA does.
Okay. Okay. However, its promising application is to genetically modify cells to overcome genetic defects or its potential to conquer diseases like cancer. Makes sense, right? You just go in and make people immune to it.
Or repair it.
Or repair it.
Yeah. Take it out, put a new piece in.
The genetically modified mosquitoes that can no longer carry malaria. That's huge.
Yeah.
Like that kills
also
a
very nice.
shit ton of people, man. In humans, turning on a gene that can create fetal-type behaving cells that can overcome sickle cell anemia. Another huge deal. Wow, okay. So, of course, as with every technology, CRISPR isn't perfect. It works by cutting the double-stranded DNA at precise locations in the genome.
Double-stranded, woohoo.
The helix and all that. Okay. When the cell's natural repair processes take over, it can cause damage, or in the case where the modified DNA is inserted at the cut site, it can create unwanted off-target mutations. Doesn't sound like this should be mail order shit to me.
And yet, for $159, you too can be risky.
Some genetic disorders known to mutate specific DNA bases, so having the ability to edit these bases would be enormously beneficial in terms of overcoming many genetic disorders. However, CRISPR is not well suited for intentionally introducing specific DNA bases, the A's, C's, and T's, and G's that make up the double helix. What are they telling us here, Mr. Eric?
That it's a bit clumsy. That using CRISPR is a bit clumsy at making these changes is what I believe that it's telling us.
So these folks that are doing this and claiming that it's perfectly safe, right, that are already doing this to themselves.
Yeah, these people are saying that it's a coarse and clumsy way of editing a genome, and that this is borne out by the fact that they've got something called CRISPR Prime that's able to write the DNA down to the spot and have a more precise and thus less damaging operation, so to speak.
Okay.
And that these things can cause mutations. There's a lot of gene junk that floats around. That's what there is. Like
that's what they call it, huh?
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's actually what they exactly call it, is gene junk.
Okay.
And it's like it's just floating out there, and it's pieces that's those letters kind of that's floating around out there.
Okay.
And the RNA will take that stuff and put it in and out of the DNA. Remember I was telling you it puts things in and out? That's where it goes. It just kind of goes out into that open area outside of the gene, right? And then floats around until it comes, an RNA piece gets it and puts it back in. I believe.
It's like its own. It's got its own intelligence. Then
I don't know about that. It's about chemical.
You're saying it's taking things in and putting them in and out.
Yeah.
There seems to be some decisiveness to that. No.
Yeah, but I think most of that's based on chemicals and the reaction to how it reacts to certain chemicals and proteins that's found in these things. But I'm not totally sure.
Right.
I mean, I know there are some stuff that in the human body that really looks like it's intelligent, walking around and doing stuff. It's crazy, but
well, there's colonies of bacteria that live inside of all of us.
Yeah,
right?
and on us.
Yeah, and on us.
Yeah.
Okay, so where did CRISPR prime's editing come from? Scientists recognize CRISPR's ability to prevent bacteria from infecting more cells and the natural repair mechanisms that it initiates after damage occurs, thus having the capacity to hold a bacterial infection via genome editing. Essentially, it showed adaptive immunity capabilities. It's learning. Right?
In that chemical way, yes.
Putting shit in and out.
Knowing what needs to be done.
Learning.
Yeah.
Adapting.
Learning that stuff, yeah.
Okay. When might we see CRISPR prime editing out in the wild? Guess what, Mr. Smith?
Sooner than you think.
It's already out there.
Sooner than you think.
It has been used for treating sickle cell anemia in human embryos to prevent HIV infections for being transmitted to offspring of HIV patients.
Which is what that guy did in China.
Yeah. IEEE engineers like myself are always seeking to take fundamental science and expand it beyond the petri dish to benefit humanity. In the short term, I think that prime editing will help generate the type of fetal-like cells that are needed to help patients recover and heal, as well as developing new vaccines against deadly diseases. It will allow researchers to new, lower-cost alternatives to access Alzheimer's-like cells without obtaining them post-mortem. So deep learning and all this shit's all tied into this now, man, as they continue to figure out which genomes do what, and the smorgasbord of options you have for how you want to tune yourself. Start that palette of paints is getting,
and they're able to
bigger.
already fine tune things as specific as little drops of oil that's going to grow an animal back, right?
Yeah.
Very specific things that's being turned on and off, right?
Yeah,
Or
pretty
making
amazing
roads.
shit.
Yeah.
Like, overall, it's
So, UFOs. Remember how we've talked about them, right? And we've talked about alien intelligences and the potential for that. And of my skepticism that any of these things are extraterrestrial, that I've maintained, if I had to take my best guess, I would say interdimensional time travel.
Yeah, you're big on the transdimensional. Yeah, I'm more on the the simulation. We live in a simulation.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So imagine if the issue was that when you talk about things like CRISPR and being able to modify yourself on a genetic level like that, how can you really say what our far future might be like? If we're already able to modify these things now, they could only get better in time if we don't destroy ourselves, right?
Right, sure.
So we could actually look very differently in the future with these things, right?
I don't know if am I being too urgent here when I say we may be the generation that can see a path to immortality, or as close as we biologically could kind of come to it, really, realistically.
Certainly getting close to that. But what would you imagine it would be like in 500 years?
God, I don't know.
Yeah, right? How much would this technology increase? I mean, we've had 500 years that we can look back.
Yeah, because as it continues to get better, then that just extends your possibility for the extension of your life, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're getting at?
Well, yeah, and if in the future they could develop time travel and come back in time through interdimensional portals or some such crap like that, they may be gene harvesting.
Oh, right.
just samples of things, anything really, any kind of thing that because they've already modified everything into certain things, right? And the past is gone, so to speak.
So now they need to come back and get new samples to bring that ability back into their.
Yeah, it's not like an invasion. It's not like they're trying to kill people. Yeah, they have intimate knowledge of time, so they can head off certain events or most events, if not all events, like most events, right? They can head off by knowing a lot about time, but they're
head off. So are these the ones that also like blow up the missiles that they're about to test the nuclear?
No, not necessarily
missiles?
that,
like
but
that
I mean
whole UFO. That whole UFO.
No,
sort of?
I mean head off events like when that person that we were talking about that was on the other show, he was a pilot.
Yeah,
who had seen
Fravor.
that, right? The way that
Commander Fravor.
Yeah.
Commander Fravor.
Like the way that they, he talked about the UFO being able to jam them and had like specific knowledge, it seemed, of where they were and where they were going to be. Like they went back to the spot they were initially at that they deviated from.
Right.
Like it seemed all really set up. Yeah. Like somebody knew where people were going to be and what was pretty much going to go down. They couldn't maybe apply for every variable that may occur, but like 90% of them, right?
They sort of had it covered, yeah.
Yeah, and so they had things they could do to get them out of there really quick and just leave no trace. But essentially, maybe they were just there like gene harvesting and stuff.
And that was the whole with the cross over the water.
Yeah, or whatever.
Some way
yeah.
they were taking samples and
that they need because of all the gene altering in the future,
right.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds bizarre, right? But when you think about what this might be like in 500 years and what we could do to our species for good or for bad, like it could be bad, it could be good, it could be both.
Yeah, whose guess is better than anybody else's? Nobody's. I mean, it just, I agree. I don't know what the answer is. I'm like I said, I think the simulation's breaking down, and what we're seeing is leaking memory. I mean, I don't have any proof of that, but my wild ass theory is as good as anybody else's.
Right? Exactly. That's the same thing in theoretical physics for the most part.
So this is nuts, man. So now a more precise tool to allow people to edit their genes even more precisely.
Some CRISPR prime that writes the RNA down to the DNA and does the deed.
Then ANI and deep learning is going in and modeling all of this stuff so we can know more and more about how to turn on and turn off the right things.
Right, because if there's anything I want an artificial intelligence to know about me, it's how to control me genetically.
Yeah, well, then there's that, right?
Yep. Here you go, artificial intelligence. Here's my genome.
There is a side to this that says, again, how does technology become so invasive? Because it does valuable shit for us in exchange for all of our anonymity.
It'll be 23andMe and the AI.
Yeah. It'll be calling you up and saying, hey, you need this shot.
Dude, did you eat wheat?
Do I?
No, that's the AI.
The AI calls you.
Did you just eat wheat? You're not supposed to be eating wheat.
You shouldn't eat wheat.
Yeah, it's bad for your genome.
Oh. Well, that's the sort of, but does it matter, or can I just go in and fix my genome so that it doesn't care if I eat wheat?
I don't know. It might be a personal opinion. Like maybe you haven't got to it yet. Who knows? Who knows? The future is going to be very confusing to us.
It really is. It really is, man. There's a lot of, this is.
Good luck, Devlin.
When you were to be talking, never mind. There's a lot of people that are going to be having Thanksgiving dinner with family and loved ones this year, folks. Okay? And what I want to present to you is don't fucking talk about politics.
Yeah, don't.
Talk about this.
Yeah, man.
Fuck politics. It never fixes anything anyway.
Don't return to the man cave. Retire to the study and have a discussion over a good game of chess.
And absinthe.
And some absinthe.
We need jackets with leather patches on the elbows and shit, while we're doing this. And
yes.
Big, wooden pipes and things.
You both need to comb your hair over.
Smoking it with a comb over, yes, and a pencil-thin mustache. Eric, would you like to know what a memory looks like?
I would like to know what a memory looks like.
Okay, this comes from the National Institute of Health Directors blog. Hey, we should probably mention that the first article came from The Mind Unleashed. The second article came from TechCrunch, and now we're on to what's a memory look like. Okay, so we've talked about.
I think I've seen that episode of Star Trek.
This made me think of Orc OR. Should I?
I don't know.
When I saw the image and we talked about the orchestrated objective collapse of microtubules in the brain, and it's got this whole wave function component to it, and the consciousness resides on sort of that wave.
Yeah.
Okay. When I saw this, it made me think of that.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know exactly what that picture is of.
Well, apparently it's a picture of what a memory looks like.
Yeah, right.
It's from Boston University. Your brain has the capacity to store a lifetime of memories covering everything from the name of your first pet to your latest computer password. Mine does not. But what does a memory actually look like? Thanks to some very cool neuroscience, you are looking at one.
I mean, it really does look like that episode of Star Trek Enterprise.
It's a green-orange. That's an oxymoron. But it looks like the inside of the fruit, an orange, like when you pull the fibers apart. That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Yep.
Or the Superman movie where all the intelligence was stored in that weird pod farm, like, the last really bad Superman movie. Anyway. The physical manifestation of a memory, or engram. Engram, okay. Consists of clusters of brain cells active when a specific memory was formed. Your brain's hippocampus plays an important role in storing and retrieving these memories. In this cross-section of a mouse hippocampus, imaged by the lab at National Institute of Health, supported neuroscientist Steve Ramirez at Boston University, cells belonging to an engram are green, while blue indicates those not involved in forming the memory.
Okay.
So it seems like it's three-dimensional somehow. It's how memories are stored, right? It's sort of what they're getting
Looks
at.
that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't... This is in a cell, right?
Yeah.
A cluster of brain cells, specific memory, manifestation of memory, engram cells active. Yeah, I mean, just brain cells. I mean, there's microtubulars are like the skeleton structure of a cell. So the interaction between the quantum level and the macro level in the brain would be in those skeleton structures of the cell that the microtubulars make up.
Okay.
And He
says all of the above information has suggested, Ramirez, that given its tremendous plasticity, the brain may possess the power to downplay a traumatic memory or to boost a pleasant recollection.
That's good. Toward
that end, Ramirez's team is now using its mouse system to explore ways of suppressing one engram while enhancing another.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's literally reprogramming your brain
to remember better. Yeah.
Or to suppress painful bad memories.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Captain Kirk, though, needs his memories. And, he doesn't want to suppress his memories. His memories of pain and grief is what makes him who he is today.
How do we get on Captain Kirk?
Just what it makes me think of when you say suppress bad memories. Because remember in Star Trek V when Sabuk was trying to take away their pain and lift them and give them that spiritual feeling? See, that was what was going on. And then he did it to... McCoy, and he did it to Spock, and it came Jim's turn, and he's like, no, I like my painful memories because they make me awesome in who I am. Screw you. And he was like the only one that resisted.
Well, I've not seen this
I
can remember.
So anyhow, back to stuff that people should know.
Okay.
Not whatever crap I'm talking about.
The ultimate goal is to develop brain-wide maps that chart all of the neural networks involved in recording, storing, and retrieving memories. Dr. Ramirez was recently awarded an NIH Director's Transformative Research Award to begin the process. Such maps will be invaluable in determining how stress affects memory, as well as what goes wrong in dementia and other devastating memory disorders.
So
that's cool.
That skeletal structure of the cell that the microtubulars make up, it's kind of like this thing that branches out in all these directions. And the cell surrounds that, and, it's kind of like the bones of the cell. And that's where they think that the communication on the quantum level occurs, that the atoms that make up the microtubulars, that make up that skeleton of a cell, is is what aligns up or disaligns up in a dipolar fashion when you're applying either anesthetics or psychotropic substances, right? And it allows this communication. Another way of saying that is it tunes the antenna into that realm a bit more efficiently or not, depending upon which one you've put on this. And so the wave function collapse that would occur between the wave function and the macro world of a memory would occur in an orchestrated manner once it went through the network, the neural network of all these different cells, and that memory was formed, and then it would collapse, and that would be that memory that could be imprinted in on there.
So you're saying yes. That you think there's a connection.
Well, I can see how. Yeah.
That does this further substantiate or further disprove the sort of theory?
I think it substantiates it because the crux of the memory happening, the reality of it happening, is the wave function collapse, which takes place inside the skeletal structure of the cell.
Okay.
And then after that happens, then the memory is stored in that cell.
Like it locks it in there.
Yeah, if it happens.
At a quantum.
It occurs on a quantum level, and then it manifests fully as a macro level item in that picture.
So that's where the connection is made then between the quantum entanglement of the memory.
And the memory
is
formed.
And where the memory actually gets formed into
acting almost
recall.
Acting almost like a filter, like we talked about when we seen that laser, and the photons that went through that filter were then entangled.
Okay.
That would be like that put in between the skeletal structure of the cell, and that is where that occurs there, apparently.
So is it something that proves that OR is more than a theory? No, it does not.
No.
It's another sort of piece in a chain that's got broken links in it.
But with my limited understanding makes me believe that possibly that helps the theory.
This could help substantiate that theory.
Yeah, because that's like right next door to where it's the memory and consciousness, really, where consciousness is supposed to happen is in that skeletal structure of the cell.
Right.
That's where that border is. So right after consciousness happens for you and you're aware of something, then the next phase would be committing that to memory, that event that took place, that you remember that event. And if it's stored in those cells there, that's like right next door to that skeleton thing. It's like if you looked at it as in your body and was saying that your muscles is where memory is stored, where your perception of reality occurs is in your bones, but memory is stored in your muscles. It's kind of like that because it's the bone of that cell, and then right past that is the cell itself, and it's saying that those memories, there's engrams in there that are storing.
Muscle memory is a legit thing.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of a different thing,
Right.
That's
or is it?
Yeah, that's the brain that maps out certain functions that once it just keeps hitting the button, you just do the thing and you don't really need to pay attention.
Okay.
You just got to fire that set of neurons.
But as I understand it, that these things happen faster than an electrical impulse could get from your brain to your body to start the process. Like there's something happening that's happening external to the brain, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's that thought process doesn't have to occur. You just have to fire it off, right? So you just have to acknowledge that you're firing it off, but you're really not thinking about putting in every move that you're making. Like if you're playing a piano or something.
Well, I can say that is absolutely true when I'm playing guitar.
Yeah,
too.
You're not thinking about it. So not thinking about it frees up some time and makes it a lot quicker. Mm-hmm. Than if you literally had to tell and the electric had to go from your brain to that point, each thing what to do.
Right.
If it's already just mapped out to hit, it's more syncopated. It's more precise than you happen to think. I would think.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I've always sort of tangled with that philosophy that there's people, especially the kung fu masters and all that. You repeat it so many times, it happens at superhuman. Where I think they did this on that show, The Fight Science, too, where they would flash an indication in front of a martial artist, and then they had to touch like one of 4 places as fast as they could. And it seemed to indicate that they could actually move faster then an electrical impulse should be able to get to from their eye, process through their brain, say, move this hand. Like, so there's a reflexive action that happens, and that's sort of that whole mystical thing about these martial artists being able to move super fast.
Corner the market on figuring out how to disassociate the thought.
Well, drummers do the same thing. You
know,
anybody that plays like a 5-piece drum, I should say.
Probably so, yeah.
Absolutely does it with 4 limbs, and then if you're Tommy Lee, you do it with 5.
If you're Buddy Rich, you're like,
Tommy Lee, remember, could honk the horn on the boat in him Pamela Anderson's video with his Johnson. That's what said he could play the kick bass with his fifth limb. This was pretty neat. This is from New Scientist.
Ooh.
This is a New Scientist exclusive, although I did see this article on several other sites. Yeah. Humans placed in suspended animation for the first time. Suspended animation for the first time. And not like, they drew them. Okay. Anyway. So doctors have placed humans in suspended animation for the first time as part of a trial in the U.S. that aims to make it possible to fix traumatic injuries that would otherwise cause death.
EPR, emergency preservation and resurrection technique. If you're coming in and you're fucked up real bad and you need like a heart specialist because you've been stabbed in the heart, because it talks about that. I sent this to Matt.
So you've read this?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember. So this, thanks to No Shitcast listener Eric Smith.
Yay!
Sent this article.
Yeah, but they'll freeze you until like a heart specialist can get there and possibly save your life. Like they basically freeze you, and
like you need this very specific procedure.
Yeah,
that guy's in
Nebraska,
whatever, right? And we got to get him on a plane, but it's going to take hours to get here, if not days.
Yeah,
we'll just turn you into a meat sickle.
Yep,
and then thaw you out
when he gets here.
And they're ready to do the procedure, and everything's prepped.
Yeah, and it's not something you need to give your permission for anyone to do. Right. The hospital that does it, the one hospital in the world so far that does it, has a website that you can opt out, but it's an opt-out situation.
Otherwise, if you arrive in their trauma center, this is one of the techniques they will use.
Yeah.
All right. So you read the article. So tell us about the procedure. What is it basically?
It's basically a freezing procedure and a cocktail of chemicals to help the cells recuperate when you're thawed back out, because there's like
the ice crystals don't bust all the cells. That's the reason why you can't be frozen.
Apparently, there's a host of problems. It's not just that. There's some other issues.
One of them,
and shit.
Right.
Yeah, and some of it has to do with like, so on the this is part of work OR too, right? If anyone who has been put out with anesthetics knows that that's totally different than falling asleep or being passed out because you've drank too much, or just about any other situation, exhaustion. You have an internal clock and you're pretty sure how long you've slept, if it's been a while or not, right? But when you get anesthetic and you're put out for the operating table, it's literally lights out.
Yes, it is.
And then lights back on.
Done it a couple times, yeah.
Right.
It's really like you blink and you're awake. It's like
like nothing happened and you're in a different situation.
It's just gone.
That's an elegant way, I would think, to put somebody out of consciousness. This is probably a really coarse way when you're literally freezing everything and you're not just shutting down consciousness and working on a body.
Well, I'm sure they knock your ass out before they start doing it.
But they're literally stopping your metabolism. Like when you're on the operating table, they try to keep you alive. They try to keep your heart and your lungs going and stuff so that, you're alive, right? Here, they're shutting everything down. They're freezing that shit, and it's pretty harsh, man, to come back from that. It's hard. There's other, like, that's the beginning of my point, right? There's some things that the cells have to feed upon, right? And there's things that they have to interact, and things have to be working and moving, or they start to decay immediately. And so they they freeze them. That's like a really harsh stop, man.
Well, we've seen people, though, that have done things like fallen through the ice on ponds and lakes and rivers.
Oh, yeah. It's certainly survivable.
Dead for like hours and then waking up.
Yeah.
Right? So this kind of thing is...
It's doable.
And that was no special chemicals. That was no...
No. That's
make
what makes
that
this a
happen.
medical procedure, though. You've got a better chance if you do it
surviving
here.
it this way
Yeah.
than just dumping you in ice cold water and holding you under until everything stops moving.
Yeah.
That'd be traumatic as fuck, right? All right, so pretty cool shit. So this is a thing that they're going to do.
Involves rapidly cooling a person to around 10 to 15 degrees centigrade by replacing all of their blood with ice-cold saline. The patient's brain activity almost completely stops. They are then disconnected from the cooling system, and their body, which would otherwise be classified as dead, is moved to the operating theater.
Meat sickle.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I've seen the movie Alien and Aliens.
And Futurama.
And you get into cryostasis.
Yeah.
And that's how they travel huge distances through space, right?
Yeah. It literally says in the article somewhere that this is not about going to Saturn, which is funny because
I kind of think it is.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, yeah, it kind of is. You know, we just keep developing this technology, and we will be.
It kind of is.
They've developed carbonite.
Yeah, like a weird, like a stasis
Yeah.
form of Star Wars, the frozen
Yeah,
carbonite.
it's awesome.
Yeah. Have you not seen the movie Alien or even better, have you not seen the movie Aliens?
No.
Dude.
Man, we gotta get together and we gotta watch those two movies.
Yeah, back to back.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, good stuff.
I'm ready.
Good stuff. All right. Well, Mr. Smith, thanks for sending that over, man. That was a fun, interesting article.
Yep.
You're right. New lasers may be powerful enough to drill a hole in reality. Now, I think this is probably going to be one of them articles where the big words giveth and the little words make it not quite such a huge deal. And
especially when the big words contain may.
May. Already.
Yeah, right. It's already shaky.
I'm going to give this a strict 3-paragraph limit.
Okay.
If my bullshit meter has not moved after 3 paragraphs, we're moving on.
All right, cool.
The prestigious
Ooh.
academic physics journal Physical Review Letters published a paper, never heard of them, this week about a cutting-edge laser tech, and if bloggers are to be believed...
Bloggers.
Thank you. Again, who is it? It's a bloggers.
Bloggers.
It could have juicy ramifications.
Did you see how the credibility totally went down from the prestigious paper down into if bloggers are to be believed? Wait, how did we get from this prestigious academic journals to if bloggers are to be believed?
Yes, but
in one paragraph.
We do have the two words connected: juicy ramifications.
Oh well.
I'm gonna venture on.
All right.
Juicy
ramifications.
First paragraph. Just saying. The paper itself is dry and technical. By the way, this is from Futurism, which we've had some real hot or cold shit with Futurism before. Okay, they definitely will tip towards sensationalism. Okay, the paper itself is dry and technical, but the prominent tech blog Ars Technica interpretation of its finding is anything but, according to Ars. In fact, the tech it describes could pulse a laser, quote, through fabric of the universe. Last paragraph.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, strike 2. Plasma mirror. A key problem with super powerful lasers, according to R's explanation, is that they tend to shred anything you use to focus the beam.
I'd say that's vague enough to do one more paragraph. I'm not sure what that even means, but
the idea behind the paper by a researcher at the Université Paris-Saclay is that you could use a mirror made out of plasma, you know, the ultra-hot stuff the sun is made out of, to focus the beam. I'm not getting anywhere here, right?
I don't know where it's going.
And if they can pull that off, we'll read the next article. Moving on. Okay.
Yep.
Engineer finds a way to pull disease from blood using magnets. That's also from Futurism.
Damn it.
I think we're done with Futurism tonight. They're going to go think about what they've done with that article that never got to the point. This one's from Vice News. Let me show you how to get to the point, Mr. Smith.
Okay.
This company will pay someone up to $47,000. That's 47,000 buckaroos. That's 47,000 schmolians a year to sit at home and smoke weed, contrary to what your mother, your aunt, your uncle, or anybody else who's over the age of 50 told you growing up.
Would not work for money getting would be this. You're never going to get anywhere if you sit at home and smoke weed all day.
I'm going to guess this is another one of them articles where the big-ass words are going to give and the little words are going to take away. Once in a while, a story comes along that really crystallizes the fact that weed prohibition is over. This is one of those times. I don't think it's true.
Some places maybe.
Some places maybe, but other places they're still doing stupid shit.
Ohio.
I'm not, I'm just throwing it out there. American Marijuana, a cannabis review site, is looking for someone to review CBD and THC products for up to $47,000, $36,000 US dollars a year. Well, what the fuck is that? Okay, so we're already losing $11,000.
Still, $36,000. Could do that per year.
The site wants an applicant either from Canada or the U.S. Oh, they must be a Canadian company because they just did the whole country. They're like, fuck it. Everybody get baked, eh? Canada or a U.S. state where weed is legal currently to film themselves unboxing new free weed products each month and blog about their experiences. Essentially, you'd be getting paid to get high at home and blog about it. You're never going to make a living sitting at home smoking weed.
In front of your computer.
Paradigm blown again. The products will include weed, vapes, edibles, and CBD oils. Sounds like a party.
Yeah.
Quote, the applicant will have to write about their honest reviews and opinions of the product in the form of a blog. Probably prior to using the products. I would
Maybe.
imagine. That would be a good stipulation. The posting says, moreover, they must also be comfortable in front of the camera, since the job includes unboxing videos and explainer videos of how each cannabis product performs and differs from other more notable products in the category.
Let's see. Being comfortable in front of the camera and being able to write bachelor's degree.
Adult products?
Yeah, I can do that.
We would never do adult products on camera or anything like that. I mean, does this really fit? I don't know. Anyway.
For money?
Oh, wait. We live in Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio. We're already exempt.
Yeah. The successful candidate will need to be at least 18 years old. We can do that.
Yep.
Physically healthy.
I can move.
I'm not sure about that. And able to name at least 6 slang terms for weed. That's literally part of the application.
That's hilarious. Like 6 slang terms.
6 terms or 6 pages? Part of being 47, man. You hear shit.
You just don't hear that many kind of things that's required in an interview like that.
Yeah, for sure.
What'd you have to do? Well,
what's your street name? The application also requests a 60-second video explaining why you're passionate about weed and links to your social media accounts.
It's like 60 seconds of going.
Yeah, they want
just straight.
They want to know. They want to know your social media because they want to know how many followers you have. So unless you're already like a social media darling or something like that, you're probably not going to get paid to get baked.
I am in the wrong state for that anyway.
Yeah, we both are.
That would be.
Fuck it, let's move.
Yeah.
Where are we going to move to?
Any place sells practically.
You notice? No, I'm not going to say that.
Colorado. They got the first weed malt.
Yeah, but isn't Colorado another one of them states that's always catching on fire? Like the whole fucking state. The whole state catches.
Possibly.
I'm not being mean. I'm just saying it. Don't they have like a lot of problems with that kind of stuff?
I don't know.
It's weird, man.
We could live like near a mountainous territory.
Volcanoes.
No, they're like the different kind of.
You're talking about like the upper Midwest.
Don't they have some kind of Don't Colorado have some kind of mountains or something?
Like it does, but don't they always catch on fire?
I don't think the mountains do.
And then they have like wildlife that hunts you, can run you down and kill you, like mountain lions and shit.
Yeah, but that's all right.
Yeah, I'm spoiled. I live in a place where it doesn't rain spiders or do anything fucking weird.
Yeah.
You know?
A couple of black bears every so often.
Kind of like it.
Yeah.
I just wish they weren't so fucking anal
Bobcats
about
occasionally.
wanting to run everybody's life for them. Bobcats occasionally, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be about the worst thing. Some black bears, eagles, and bobcats, maybe.
What are we reading here? That was done with that, right? That was that stupid laser article. Screw futurism. Vice News. Screw them. That's them again. That's them again. They're in timeout. No. I think we're doing a 1-hour show tonight, gentlemen.
It can happen.
It can happen. Yeah, I just decided to put futurism in timeout.
Yeah.
You know, sorry, you pissed me off. Even though a British engineer has found a way to filter unwanted cells from blood using magnets, and it could have life-altering ramifications for the entirety of humanity at large.
As soon as next year. It does sound interesting. I mean, there's like iron in blood, right?
Well, thanks to existing research, Eric, biochemical scientist George Frodsham. Frodsham.
Wow.
He knew it was possible to force magnetic nanoparticles to bind to specific cells in the body.
I see.
But while other researchers did so primarily to make those cells show up in images, only to look at them, expose them, he wondered whether the same technique might allow doctors to remove those unwanted cells
altogether
from the blood.
Wow. He was thinking outside the box and the blood cell.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Quote, when someone has a tumor, you cut it out. End quote. Ding.
Ching.
Exclamation point. He told the New Telegraph, quote, blood cancer is a tumor in the blood, so why not just take it out in the same way?
Why not?
To that end, he created MediSieve, a treatment technology that works similarly to dialysis.
Dialysis?
By removing a patient's blood and infusing it with magnetic nanoparticles designed to bind to a specific disease.
Ah. That was a Star Trek quote too.
We do dialysis. We kind of this is well trodden sort of path here, right?
Yeah.
It then uses magnets to draw out and trap those cells before pumping the filtered blood back into the patient.
Ooh, interesting. And it doesn't hurt the cells, huh?
Well, it just pulls out the bad ones. It doesn't. It's non-invasive at all. It sounds to me like this horrible. They can take like the cells that do horrible shit to you. They can sort of size the nanoparticles to attach specifically to those cells.
They just get filtered out.
And then they just filter your blood and they just suck them cells out. Done. The idea is that doctors could run a person's blood through the machine several times until their levels of the disease are low enough to be wiped out by drugs or even the patient's own immune system.
It's what leeches were meant to do. Leeches, sorry. What leeches were meant to do.
Yeah, leeches,
bad undead. Okay. Yeah.
Disembodied spirit kind of thing.
Bad stuff all the way around.
Frodsham's team is currently awaiting approval from the United Kingdom's Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency to trial the system on patients infected with the malaria parasite, which is naturally magnetic. He said, that's great.
Wow, that's interesting.
Thanks to its consumption of its own iron-based waste product. It eats it anyway. That human trial could kick off as soon as 2020. And if all goes well, second trial testing MediSieve on sepsis-causing bacteria could follow in 2021.
Wow.
Quote, in theory, you can go after almost anything, Frodsham told the Telegraph. Poisons, pathogens, viruses, bacteria, anything that we can specifically bind to, we can remove. So it's a very powerful potential tool.
That is cool.
Now, they should be ashamed of themselves, I think.
Well, from the earlier article, for sure.
So this one, like, because now it's cheap. I mean, like, hey, okay, you made up, trying to make up now after you've been rude, right? It's different. You can be all sweet and informational now, but it's a little too late. I feel violated.
Yeah, they need to go to selling beverages or something.
Something different.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, get out of this word game.
They're just not good for it.
No,
I just don't think
they're here. They're there.
All over the place.
Some people that they hire are really, really good. Some people are,
Yeah, it's just no consistency. Yeah.
No.
So we'll do another one next week.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm glad.
Mr. Devlin, you got anything you'd like to add tonight, Miss, back there from the engineering booth?
I don't think I have anything.
Mr. Smith?
Well, no, sir. I think I covered all the weird stuff with the interdimensional time traveling, gene hunting people.
Gene harvesting folks, yeah.
I think I covered my weird there.
Good shit. I think we brought some value to the world tonight, Mr. Smith.
We have.
I sure hope we did.
Yes.
If nothing else, I hope we were entertaining.
God, yeah, I hope so.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Check us out at www.noshitcast.com. It's KNOWSHITCAST.com. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to watch what we do here in the studio, you can check us out on YouTube, same name. Just type in No Shit Cast in your search bar and hit those subscribe buttons there. Please give us some shares, leave some comments, share some articles with us. If we like them, we'll put them on the show. Same with the comments. And as always, we appreciate you listening. Take it easy, everyone. Thanks for listening. Bye, Sickles.
Bye.